Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, today was a pretty good day. Pretty exciting day. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what happened today and this breaking news with this gigantic tech company and their possible adoption of Bitcoin. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about everything else that's going on in the world of crypto. All right, let's do it. Welcome, 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 guys. Not bad. Not bad at all. 67.9 right now. And earlier today, we got up all the way up to about 68.8. So we briefly went above 68.2. We came back down a little bit, but overall, we're still in a very good position, higher than we were this morning. We're slowly creeping up and up and up and up and up, and it's just a matter of time we break through 70 and break through here and get through there. It's just a matter of time. We still have over a week to go. There's not a lot of pressure on top, and I'm going to show you guys that in a little bit. All right, so what is going on? Well, today overall, today was a pretty decent day for tech. MicroStrategy went up 10% today, if this ever loads. 10%. That's crazy. That's a precursor of what's to come. 52-week high. Obviously, that's a really, really good. But this is the big, major breaking news. Okay. And this is the reason why MicroStrategy is the leader, because now they're making everyone on Wall Street question whether or not they should adopt a Bitcoin strategy. So an SEC filing that appeared today, Microsoft disclosed that in their next shareholder meeting, December 10th, there will be a vote on whether or not Microsoft will be investing in Bitcoin. Now, here's the caveat. The board itself is going to recommend no, but there does seem to be a lot of shareholders that are recommending this and proposing this. So they're going to put it to a vote. We're talking about Microsoft, one of the top 3 companies of the world that are now going to put it to a vote, whether or not they're going to invest in Bitcoin and put it on their balance sheet. It's just a matter of time. Apple's going to do it. Amazon's going to do it. Facebook's going to do it. Nvidia's going to do it. Everyone is going to do it. And pretty soon, the boards are not going to be voting no. They're going to be voting yes or recommending yes. This is pretty big. I think this is pretty big. Right? And this is all thanks to MicroStrategy leading the way, because obviously, since Saylor have adopted a Bitcoin strategy, it has done very, very well in terms of the stock performance, and everyone is paying attention. Right? So this is huge news. Whether they actually do it or not, maybe it gets denied, but the very fact that this is actually going to be voted upon in their next shareholder meeting is monumental. Even 2021, 2017, this would be laughed at as a proposal. Not anymore in 2024, right? Every Fortune 500 company is now on notice thinking about if they should put Bitcoin on their balance sheet. That's absolutely fantastic. So that's the breaking news. That is the breaking news. And we're going to hear more and more about that as we move forward. Here's also something that's considered breaking news. State of Pennsylvania has passed Bitcoin rights in the House, and both Republicans and Democrats together passed this bill. And what is this? What is this? The Bitcoin rights? Well, basically, it's like the rights for self-custody. This controversial topic recently because of Michael Saylor, what he said. But basically, this is what all Bitcoiners want: the right for self-custody, and not for governments or agencies to take that away, right? If you want exchanges, you want banks, you want custodians to custody your Bitcoin or crypto, that's fine. But to have a right to custody your own crypto, that's a fundamental right. You should have that freedom to do so. And that's basically what this is, right? So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Why not? Why not? All right. So what else is there? Besides these two news, we still have the usual whale accumulation, 670,000. All-time high. That's not a surprise. We got whale accumulation left and right. I got so many of these that I've shown you guys. Just trust me when I say and where I show you, there are a lot of whales that are loading up right now, okay? The whales could be dormant whales, could be new whales, could be institutional whales, could be non-institutional whales. Whales nevertheless. And all of them seem to be coming in the latter half of 2024. Some came in beginning of 2024, but it seems like the latter half of 2024 is when it really starts skyrocketing. Something's going on. And I think they know what's to come. They're preparing. And I think we know what's going on too, because we're in October and the election's coming up. I think a lot of things are aligning, and a lot of these whales also know what's coming up. So you see a lot of this stuff. This is actually chump change. We have seen Tether mint a billion here, a billion there. So 50 million of USDC, that's actually chump change. If you track whale alerts, you see $1 billion USDT being minted all the time. Guess why? Because the whales are getting ready to buy. That's why. We see that all day long, right? Now, in terms of charts, I showed this to you guys the other day or yesterday, right? Obviously, we're in an uptrend structure. We did retest that trend line recently, so we're definitely continuing upwards. I see a lot of people say, we want that God candle, right? It's not here yet. It will come. Definitely all this accumulation, right? Whale accumulation, ETF inflows. It will have effect. And the liquidations in a short squeeze, it's going to have an effect. Right now, there's a battle going on, right? There does seem to be a lot of pressure still trying to hold Bitcoin back, but when it's gone, 73,000 is going to come and go very quickly, and we're going to be at 80, 90, 100 in no time. And by the way, tomorrow's Friday. We have that big options expiration tomorrow. So it could be, this is all leading up till tomorrow. So, I mean, everything is on track. There's really nothing else that's not on track. I mean, I could show you a million different things like I've been showing you guys every single day. Here's another one. Basically, where we are right now in this cycle versus previous cycles. Have we started the uptrend? Yes. Have we gone parabolic? No. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. We got the remainder of this year. We got all of 2025. We got a lot of room, a lot of time still left in this bull run that's coming up. It's really It's really that simple. Just gotta be a little bit more patient. That's all, right? Here's the last thing I'll show you about Bitcoin. There's something about 185 days after a halving event. Last two cycles, right around 185 days. Right around there. It doesn't have to be, but like right around 185 days, if you look at the last two, you know, if you look at the last two, 185 days, Bitcoin actually was not even close of breaking through its previous high yet. So if you look at the 2017, it definitely started upwards, but you could see after 185 days, it was still way below 20,000. You look at 2020, after 185 days, even though it started uptrend, it was still way below 20,000, or actually in 2016 was way below 1,000. 2020 it was way below 20,000. But look at where we are now. For those of you guys that are complaining, oh, we're not moving. We're 185 days in, and we're less than 2%, 1% away from our 69,000 formed in our last cycle. So we are definitely ahead in this cycle compared to previous cycles. Because if you look at 185 days in, the last two cycles, nowhere near the previous high. Right now, we're basically at our previous high, right? And we actually surpassed it many times. So we are actually ahead in this cycle. But look at what has happened in those previous cycles after 185 days. Parabolic upwards movement. We haven't seen that yet, but it looks like it's about to come. Really that simple. Really that simple. And then, you know what happens after Bitcoin starts going up parabolically? Well, altcoin season also comes, right? You have mini altcoin seasons first, then you have full-blown altcoin season. So a lot of the altcoins are still down. Like this morning, I was charting like Cardano, XRP, Doge, and so many that are still down 80, 85, 90%. They still have a chance to come back. That's what happened in the last cycle. It could happen this cycle. Bitcoin always leads the way. Then the money flows into alts every single time. Maybe not XRP, but everything else happens every single time, right? All right, outside of that, Solana, again, on fire. It's still very hot. It's gaining on Bitcoin. It's gaining on Ethereum. Record-breaking fee revenue right now. And they still may be getting their ETF. We're waiting for that, even though we've had filings for Litecoin ETF, XRP ETF. No one really wants those. What people really want, what institutions, what they really want is a Solana ETF. So that could also be coming up soon. Now, outside of that, what else is there? There's a big thing going on. Fetch, Singularity DAO. They've been merging left and right. Now there's a proposal to like, this sounds like they're merging with Injective, but they're not. This is just like a big interoperability play between Fetch and Injective. So this could be pretty darn big too. And then maybe, I don't know, this leads to just a complete merge between Injective and Singularity. That would be absolutely huge because Injective is already so big. And then Fetch is already so big. And then they become even bigger powerhouse. I don't know. I've never seen this before. I've never seen mergers like this before in crypto. And if that happens, it's going to be craziness. But yeah, that's also being discussed right now. So that's pretty cool. And then, yeah, Injective overall. Injective was once upon a time, last year was the second best performer. This year, up until March, was one of the best performers. Since then, it's cooled off, but they're still in a very good spot. Very good spot. And then, what else is there? Speaking of Cardano, They have a bridge with Bitcoin using this Bitcoin OS. So now we could bridge Bitcoin to Cardano. I guess that's kind of interesting. I never heard of Bitcoin OS before. Okay, there's that. And then lastly, we have the US government being hacked. So somehow, a hacker hacked the US government's Department of Justice or US Marshals. I don't know who it belongs to. Someone hacked their wallet for $20 million. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I don't even know how they did that. I have no idea how they did that. All right. That's all. Oops. Oh man, I did not mean to move that. I don't remember where that was. Okay, let's do some Q&A. All right, I was scrolling. Chris says Souls flipped Chipotle. I saw that, but the two never. I mean, they're not really correlated, but it's an interesting fact, I guess. All right. What do you think about Charles saying Cardano will outperform ETH and BTC and be infrastructure for governments in 30 decades? In 30 decades? Does anyone care about 30 decades? In 30 decades, I guarantee you there will be projects that will be way quicker and way more usable than Cardano and ETH. Okay. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry about what's around in 30 decades. No, 3 decades or 30 decades? 30 decades is 300 years. We'll all be dead. I think you mean 3 decades. Sui Network, next Solana. Sure. What are your thoughts on Ondo and HBAR for RWA sector? Ondo makes sense. I don't get HBAR for RWA. What is HBAR doing for RWA? Man, Solana is about to flip BNB again. $30 decades. George, don't you think there are too many alts for all of them to pump? Yeah, not all of them will pump. Just the good ones. Not all of them will pump. You know, every cycle people say the same thing. There's too many alts for all of them to pump. In 2021, there were a lot of alts too. And majority of them also pump. But not every single one will. Not every single one will get back to the previous high. That is for sure, especially memes, since there are so many memes now. But a lot of them will. Am I a vegetarian? No, I am not. In 30 decades, Elon the 12th would conquer Pluto. Big Mike, what do you think Sol's price will be by the end of this year? That's a good question. I don't know. You know? Sol hit as high as 209 in March. The way they're going, they will probably break that in November. Sol's all-time high is 250, 260. Man. Can Sol hit 260 by the end of the year? If Bitcoin hits like 6 figures by the end of the year, I don't see why not. I'm just going to say, Sol breaks all-time high by the end of this year. I'm just going to call that. I may be wrong. That might be too aggressive, but if Bitcoin has a terrific last 2 months and it breaks 100K, Sol will probably be around there. 240, 260. I could see that. I could see that. RB says, George, you said no more predictions. You're right. I forgot about it. I'm not going to give any more predictions after that Sol one. What do you think about the fair accounting rule? Some sort of gateway for tax on realized gains. The fair accounting rule definitely helps more businesses buy and hold Bitcoin because it becomes a lot more fair. That's something that, again, Saylor fought for. And I think that's going to kick in 2025. That should make it a lot better for companies to actually hold physical Bitcoin rather than ETFs. So that will be good. Does even one shareholder of Microsoft get a vote? Yes. Yes. Sui would flip Sol this cycle? No, not a chance. Not even close. Your thoughts on Pennsylvania? I already covered that story, man. You need to join earlier. That beat a dog. I don't know, man. I don't know. When you say Sol, Austin saying, when you say Sol will flip Ethereum, do you mean price? No, I mean market cap. And who should we go for crypto news after I retire? Hopefully no one, because you can retire too. Brianna, my average on Solana is 20. If you were my shoes, would you take it from profits at 200 or ride the wave to 1 to 2K? I would. I would ride the wave. It doesn't matter. Like, if you know something's going to go to a certain price, it doesn't matter what you bought in at. That's how I see it. It's just like Bitcoin. If you know Bitcoin is going to go to 1 million someday, does it matter if you bought at $1 or $10,000 if you know it's going to go to 1 million or 100,000? It really wouldn't, right? So that's kind of how I see it. What do you think about Trump removing income tax and replacing it with tariff tax? Yeah, I don't know. He says a lot of stuff. I don't know if like they're actually going to be implemented. So I'm just going to stay out of that until, first of all, if he gets elected. Second of all, if they actually be implemented. Because a lot of stuff is said. Now, whether or not it can actually be implemented is another thing. Carlos, I appreciate that. I just want to show up in my Lambo at work for 1 week and quit. You know, like, I know a lot of people, like, strive. I don't know if you really mean it as a joke or you just, like, you really want a Lambo. Like, you know, the anticipation of something is usually greater than actually getting it. So, yes, after you get a Lambo, after you drive it, it's awesome. It's great to look at in garage. And then that feel just goes away really quick. So, don't let that be like a measure of your success. Let's just put it that way. Because if so, that feeling goes away really fast. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't show you guys this. Yeah, earlier today when we broke up to 68.8, look at, we got like all these guys, all these shorters wrecked over here. So waiting for us to go back up to 69,000, get these guys wrecked, and then we'll be in the 70s, and then we'll wreck these guys up to 72K, and then after that, it's clear. After 72 right here, there is nothing holding us back to 73 and beyond. So it's going to be quite quick. I'm waiting for that to happen. Could be tomorrow, could be this weekend. Would you get a Cadillac V, that GT5, G500? What do you mean by that? Cadillac V or G500? Chris, I don't know what you're asking there. Carlos, no, I'm not going to give you opinion on Dodge Elon Mars. The name itself is beyond stupid, so I'll just leave it at that. George, is it true if you leave your Bitcoin in the exchange, you'll go use it to lend out to short sellers? You know, I never thought about that. Maybe. Maybe they do. I don't know. I actually never thought about that before. Probably not, because that would be stupid. But they probably have their own reserves in some way to handle that. Or they borrow Bitcoin from another exchange to do it. Next destination you want to travel to? I don't know. I have a chance to go to Thailand next month, but I really don't want to go. So I don't think I'm going to go. Because I'm just sick of traveling. I've been traveling so much, I wouldn't mind just like not traveling for a month and just resting. I've never been to Thailand, but I hear good things about it. HBAR or Link, biggest return next year. If I had to choose one, I think probably, I don't know, maybe HBAR. Yeah, the Thailand trip would be, there's a mini IFC fight, and then also DevCon conferences there. So if I go, it would be for those purposes. Do I own any MicroStrategy? Yes. Yes. A little bit. Not too much. Just a little bit. Would you rather be poor and live a long life or be rich and live a short life? Probably be rich and live a short life. If I had to choose, and I knew for sure, then probably the second latter. Because then you could live a full life, even though it's short. I think this is very significant. I think this shows that every company, every Fortune 500, every Fortune 1000 company is thinking about adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet. I think this is pretty significant going forward. Again, we're seeing a lot of things happen this cycle that we've never seen in previous cycles. And this shows the maturity of the space. George, are you going to hold a gathering when this bull hits so we can enjoy your company? You know, I'm attending all these IFC fights that you guys are free to attend. They happen to correlate with all the major crypto conferences. So you are free to go to these and meet with me and see me there. That's generally why I go to these conferences. I don't really go for any reason other than to just meet people. I did meet the Hawk Tour girl. I didn't say anything personally to her. She walked by. I sat next to her. Haley, she's tiny in real life. She's like really small. She seemed nice. Her agents are really arrogant and cocky. I don't know if she still has the same agents. She was in our. She was at the Bitcoin Nashville IFC fight. Preston, bullish on RWAs, looking at centrifuge thoughts. I've looked at that company before. It's like a yield thing too. My problem with most of these RWAs, it's all RWA of treasury, bonds, yields, whatever. It's just like traditional finance stuff, but tokenized. And for me, I just don't have any interest in it. I rather have RWA of like music or real estate or cars or collectibles, something that I would care more about rather than like financial products, right? Which is what this is for. Better technology for financial products. I want RWA of actual assets other than financial products. But, besides that, 155 million is relatively low. All the other RWA plays are much higher market cap. So with that said, this has potential. Came out in 2021, topped out around $2. So still has a ways to go. Not on Binance, not on Coinbase. It is on Kraken. So that's the only US-based exchange it's on. Token unlock schedule is actually not bad. It started in 2022. It's gradually going up, but it's very gradual. So there are not a whole lot being distributed in the next year. So that's not too bad actually either. I mean, it could be a good play. Could be a good play. It's just I still prefer RWA stuff that's like not financial products. But there's not a whole lot of those, to be honest. Too bad we don't have any more excitement tonight. But overall, holding at 67.9 right under the 68.2 is not a bad spot to be. It's pretty good. Sol holding right under 176 is a pretty good spot to be as well. Others, Sui still not coming back. I thought they would have bounced back harder this morning, but they're really not. But, you know, a lot of the other ones, Jupiter got really hot. They're taking a breather, but Solana is showing a lot of strength right now. Ethereum is extremely weak right now. Stacks also kind of hovering. Stacks is underperforming right now all of a sudden. Stacks usually like moves twice as quick as Bitcoin, but recently, I guess because of their Nakamoto upgrade, for whatever reason, they've kind of stalled. And most of the memes are not moving. So right now, we're just like being driven by the whales right now in Bitcoin. Coinbase had a terrific day today, 5%. MicroStrategy had 10%. Robinhood at 2%. And NVIDIA barely eked out a green day, less than 1%. What happened to ETH? I mean, there are just like a lot of alternatives. A lot of dApps went to the L2s, you know, even though they're ETH based, but it kind of like weakened ETH in a way. And then there are alternatives like Sol, that's really hot, Avalanche, and you got Sui now. You got a lot of other L2s or L1s, I should say, that developers are going to. There's just not a whole lot. And like the memes, you know, there's some memes on ETH, but all the popular ones are not on ETH. So yeah, so ETH is just, there's just not a whole lot of activity. Honestly, that's just what's happening. RK says, hey George, I have a rich as hell Chinese sister-in-law. She's single and kind of hot. She says you are. And then emoji. Lovely, hot. I'll take that. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Tesla killed it today. Tesla went up like 20% today. I think that was an overreaction. Just because Elon says next year they're going to increase by 20 to 30%, that doesn't mean it's going to be true. Elon says a lot of stuff. Elon said 8 years ago that Tesla Roadster was going to be out. Still not out. He said 12 years ago FSD was going to be perfected. It's still not. I mean, there are a lot of stuff that he says, so I don't know. But Wall Street loves to believe what he says. He's just not really good with timelines. So yeah, I think it was an overreaction. But you know, who knows? Maybe Teslas can still dominate, but I'm hearing more and more about these Chinese EV manufacturers and how good those Chinese EV cars are and how cheap they are. And that's why Europe and US are so threatened by them. And that's why there's talks about heavy tariffs on them, because if there were not heavy tariffs on them, they would basically destroy all car companies, including Tesla, because they are that good and that cheap. And it makes you wonder how they're able to do that. Anyways. All right, guys. Have a good night. Bitcoin is setting up pretty good for tomorrow. Tomorrow, remember this week, we had a little volatility. We bounced off of here, but I think this week was a little bit weird because of the options expiration tomorrow. Usually the last Friday of every month, we go through this. But we've been slowly trending upwards. So tomorrow, after the expiration, maybe the ceiling is lifted and we blast off. And even after tomorrow and this week, we still have basically 1 full week left in October. We still have a chance to break into all-time high. All right, guys. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys tomorrow, bright and early. 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.